Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? This is Colin back at it again with episode 27 of A New Direction, the podcast where I talk about all sorts of things and just kind of give my opinion on a variety of topics and just kind of sit and have a nice chat with you all. Today I have a standard episode, 4 topics for you, just like usual. We're approaching 30 here. It's kind of crazy how quickly these go by, and I know that I say that like pretty much every video, but like it's just crazy to me how quickly these episodes just like build up on one another. Like I'm 27 episodes deep and I'm still having a lot of fun, and I'm just really glad that I have the opportunity to do all this and post this content for y'all. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for the support. I appreciate every single one of you and all the views, comments, thumbs up. I love talking to you all. So I appreciate all the support and love so far. Just wanted to say that. But with that being said, we're going to jump right into the music discussion, or the music recommendation rather, for the episode. Today I'm going to be recommending the album Philosophem by Burzum, which is a black metal album released in 1993. Traditional, early Norwegian black metal album here. This is the solo project of Varg Vikernes, who is a very notorious figure in the scene, obviously with his tenure with Mayhem and ultimately how he murdered Euronymous. He was responsible for this album, all of Burzum's music. And this was early on in Burzum's career. This is I think his third album that he had released. And so this was back when he was still doing the more black metal-y sort of music. His more recent releases under the Burzum name have been a lot more like dungeon synth and kind of dark ambient sort of music, but this was back in the day when he was still doing black metal. And honestly, this is like a quintessential black metal listen for any fans of Norwegian black metal or just black metal in general. Philosophem is definitely like one of the top albums out there that people will recommend, and I mean it's a really good album. You can tell it's very much purposefully lo-fi, and I mean you can read interviews with Varg about kind of the recording and writing process of this album. It was purposefully supposed to be very lo-fi, and he nailed that tone for sure. I read that he actually tracked all of the instruments in one take, which is pretty impressive considering some of the drum parts and everything that he has going on in this album. And just the riffs, some very catchy riffs and whatnot that are just very much a black metal-y sound. So this is a really solid album, a banger overall. I would give it like an 8 out of 10. It's not on Mayhem level for me. Mayhem is definitely like a step above Burzum as far as my personal opinion goes. But it's still a good album, still a solid listen. I would recommend it if you're interested in some black metal. But with that being said, we're going to dive right into the topics of this episode, and we're kind of all over the place today. The first thing I want to talk about was my interest in beanies and my collection of them. And I know I don't really wear them all that much in these videos, but I actually do collect beanies. I have a variety of them, really. I'm a huge beanie fan, and it wasn't always that way. For a long time, I was, I had shorter hair, really. When I was younger, my mom kind of liked for me to keep my hair trimmed up. And so I would get hair trims fairly often, and I would say I had pretty short hair. I certainly was not rocking the long, flowing look that I've got going on right now, but, I had shorter hair, much closer kept, or closer cropped, I guess, kind of at my ear level, honestly, so kind of right in there. It's kind of crazy to me to look back at pictures of myself and be like, that was me. Like, I had that short hair at one point, and, I don't know. Long hair has just been something that I've always been interested in. My brother Connor has long hair, for those of you who haven't heard. Connor is definitely like a big inspiration for my hair growth. Connor has very beautiful hair, in my opinion, and so, that in part inspired me to also grow out my hair. So shout out to Connor. He has really awesome hair. But yeah, his is really long, and I had watched a live video of Mayhem performing Cursed in Eternity. I believe it was in Australia, and it was back in like 2010, but the guitarist who was playing on stage, I'm not sure who it was. At this point in time, Mayhem was kind of having a lot of different live lineup changes, so I'm honestly not sure if it was Blasphemer who was the main guitarist at this point, or if it was like a session musician that they had brought in for this show. But the guitarist who is mostly in frame for this video has really long hair, and he like swings it around and everything. And that was literally, seeing that video was what inspired me. It was like, I'm gonna grow out my hair. The first time I saw that video, I just saw like he was up there on stage shredding the guitar and he was swinging his hair, and I was like, that's badass. I want to do that. So I decided to grow out my hair. And I don't know, long hair is definitely like something, especially with men, that I find is kind of like almost controversial. Like I find that some people are very pro long hair on dudes. Obviously I'm one of those people. I think long hair is great. I think that growing it out really long just looks really cool, and like it's really metal, and I don't know. I kind of have my more I guess like my personal interests kind of line up with having long hair. But some people are very like against long hair. They're not about it. They don't like how it looks. And I mean, I understand that long hair is definitely a lot more effort than having short hair. Kind of an inconvenience sometimes. Like you lay on it when you're trying to go to sleep, or it's a little more intensive care wise. I for one have my own like hair routine that I do. And I think I've probably talked about that a little bit before on the channel, because long hair is something that I'm kind of passionate about. Really, I'm definitely a long hair fanatic, if you will. But all of this relating to beanies is, I kind of feel like the beanie is like a staple of like a long hair kind of dude. Like beanies is just something that you wear. And Connor is yet again is somebody else who got me really into beanies. Connor wore them and still wears them, but he used to wear them like all the time. And so, seeing Connor wear beanies definitely had like an impact on me, kind of rubbed off on me a little bit. I definitely liked the beanie style. And then once I started growing my hair out, I mean, it was a natural choice. I really couldn't not wear a beanie. And so I buy them. There's this one brand in particular that I buy. I think it's like CC, I think is the name of the brand. You can buy them on Amazon, but they also have them like local retailers. There's a store in Gaffney that sells them. So when we go there, we'll stock up. I just bought some there of like last week. So I get all sorts of colors. A lot of people are, they like darker colors, or they're more into the brighter colors. Like I like them all. Like I just collect them all. I have like a straight like neon white looking one that's really good. It kind of contrasts with my hair. I'm a fan of that one, honestly. I think it looks really good. I have a bunch of multicolor ones, blues and blacks and reds and all sorts of colors. Beanies are something that I really enjoy. Just the different designs you can get on them are really cool and unique looking, and they're just really comfortable. Like they keep your head warm. It's overall like beanies are just a win. And for me personally, like a beanie is something I can wear like year round. Like I wear them in the summertime. I don't really have an issue with that. Some people think like it would be really hot, but for me personally, like I don't really have a problem with wearing beanies in the summertime. I do it all the time. Have done it for a long time, and beanies in the summertime is just like something that I do. I'll wear them to the beach, on vacation. I take them everywhere. Like I wear them out pretty much every time I go out somewhere. I will wear a beanie unless I'm just very lazy or like not put together. Like if I'm just going to like Walmart or something, I'll literally wear my sleep clothes, this hoodie that I've worn for like 3 episodes straight now, and then this my sleep pants that I wear all the time, and my little slippers, like an old man. Honestly, like I kind of have the sleep clothes, and I like to stay in them, don't like to move. But when I actually care a little bit, putting some effort into it, a beanie is like a number one kind of go-to thing. So I've been wearing beanies for a long time, kind of collecting them, and my collection's expanding now that I've kind of got some more expendable income, able to buy more beanies. So yeah, beanie collector, beanie fanatic. What can I say? But with that being said, we're going to move on into my next topic here, which is about 12-string guitars. So 12-string guitars, for those of you who are not, into music like that, the 12-string guitar it's an acoustic instrument, an acoustic guitar. So it has the traditional like acoustic guitar look to it, the thicker body, the sound hole, fewer frets, kind of longer scale a little bit. It's definitely a traditional acoustic guitar as far as shape wise, but a 12-string guitar has 6 courses. So a course refers to 2 strings that are they're tuned the same on a 12-string guitar. One is an octave higher and one is an octave lower. So that means they're both the same note, just one is higher than the other. And You have six courses, so that means they're doubled. One course is the doubled strings, so you have the higher octave and the lower octave, and they're really close together, and you can fret them very easily, very simply with one finger, just like fretting a single string, six string guitar. Um, but because you have that doubled course with the higher octave and lower octave, you get this very cool like chorus effect that is, all natural, all has to do with the instrument itself and the way it's tuned. You get this really beautiful chorus effect. And there's some notable users of 12 string guitars. I believe the Eagles, the Red Hot Chili Peppers have some songs with 12 string guitar, I believe. But there are a variety of songs that have incorporated the 12 string guitar throughout music history. And I don't know, I've always kind of enjoyed their sound. They're definitely very different from like a traditional guitar as far as the sound quality goes and the tonal kind of characteristics of it. But the 12 string guitar is a beautiful instrument. And so I've kind of been interested in getting one maybe for use on my next recording project of sorts. Maybe using it to write some mysterious or dark like intro or something. That chorusy tone really is suited for writing, more atmospheric music because you have more notes, you have more stuff going on, you throw a lot of reverb on it, and you get a really full and lush kind of soundscape. And I'm really attracted to that kind of idea, the idea of having a guitar that is able to produce such an incredible, amount of tone just from playing it just like a regular guitar. Like if you fret a G chord on a 12 string, it's going to be the same as fretting it on a 6 string. You're just going to have double the amount of notes. And, therefore you kind of, it's almost in essence like having two G chords ringing out, the higher octave and the lower octave, and they just ring out together and they go and they harmonize and it just sounds really good. 12 string guitars are beautiful sounding instruments. If you've never heard what one sounds like, I highly recommend checking them out, on YouTube or, if you're familiar with them, I'm sure you kind of know how badass they are. But I've been kind of looking into buying one here recently, like I had mentioned, for maybe some future recording projects, but they're very expensive. I find that 12 string guitars are considerably more expensive than regular acoustics, which is to be expected considering they require more craftsmanship, kind of more effort, more structural rigidity. You got more tension on the neck there. So I definitely understand. But some of them are just crazy expensive. Like, it's hard to get a quality 12 string guitar, I would say, for less than $400 or $500, brand new. There is one brand, I believe it's called Luna, who makes a very budget. It's like $200 or $300 12 string guitar, but it's always out of stock. Like, at least on Sweetwater, which is where I personally do all of my music shopping when it comes to new instruments. I prefer Sweetwater. And, if you've never, been on Sweetwater, I highly recommend their website. They have incredible customer support. You are assigned like a personal sales engineer, which I think is really cool. Like somebody that you can personally get to know and communicate with and who can, I guess, better tailor your needs and, recommend the right gear for you. And then they also take actual legitimate pictures of each instrument. So like if you go on the Sweetwater website and you're interested in buying, a Gibson Les Paul, you can pull up all of the Gibson Les Pauls that they've got in the finish you like, and they'll show you the different serial numbers, and you can actually look at the actual pictures of the instrument you would be buying, which I think is an incredible feature. Very, very useful for musicians who are interested in buying new gear. Especially guitars. Guitars are very aesthetically pleasing instruments. Like the guitarist is going to buy a guitar because one, it's going to play really well. It's going to have the form and function that they desire. But for two, typically guitars are very pretty to look at. They've got really pretty binding and finishes and wood grain and all sorts of patterns in them that are just really pretty to look at. The inlay work, like the PRS guitars, for example, they've got bird inlays, and I mean, it's just very pretty. Like you can get a custom made guitar if you're, got some crazy ideas, or, you can find a standard guitar that's manufactured that, kind of suits your needs. I think there are endless amount of options when it comes to guitars. Like I said, you got the custom market and the manufacturer market. So you are kind of able to find exactly what you're looking for. And with the case of my Greco Les Paul, it's one of those things that's like, there's a market for everything. The vintage Japanese guitar market is a thing. Like, there's people in it, there's communities with informations, forums, all sorts of resources you can use to learn and research about these different different markets when it comes to instruments. And I just think that's really fascinating and really cool. The fact that you know you can literally find an instrument perfectly suited for your needs, pretty much. And that kind of ties back in with the Sweetwater thing. Finding that perfect instrument, that has the wood grain you like, the finish you like, the color, like it just looks right. Like you are more physically attracted to that instrument. You're more likely to play it, going to be more inspired by it. And I find it's very true that like inspiration, different instruments kind of inspired differently. Like my Ibanez guitar, for example, that I used for a long time. I must admit, I haven't played it a whole lot since I got the Greco. But my Ibanez guitar is a beautiful instrument, plays very well, it's very solid. But it kind of inspires me differently than the Greco does. There is something about them that's different, and I guess the Greco, the fact that it's vintage, it's older, it's got a lot more history to it. I think that probably has some to do with it. I think that it's been worn in, broken in all the right ways, and I think that's one of the reasons why I had mentioned. I think honestly, why I was attracted to them so much. They're worn in, they've got the mojo, like they have years. Like my guitar has 43 years of use. Like that can't be artificially created. Like that use and mojo that is kind of infused into that instrument. And I know it sounds kind of weird, but like it's genuinely true. Like if you ever play a vintage instrument and compare it to a new instrument, like you will probably find that you prefer the vintage instrument. I'm not saying that's the rule, and that's kind of a generalization, but in my experience personally, I find that vintage instruments are just better than new instruments, and I can say that for sure with my Greco and my Ibanez. The Ibanez is a fantastic guitar, but the Greco is just on a different level. But the fact that Sweetwater offers the ability to kind of personally pick your instrument, I think is very important. You can pick the one that you like the most, that is going to be the most inspiring to you. But as far as 12-string guitars go, was I guess the main topic. I'm not really sure if I'm going to buy one anytime soon. It would depend on if I can get a good deal. If I can find like a used one, or that $200 or $300 one comes back in stock, and I would be able to find one. But with that being said, we're going to move on to the next topic. And this is one that I actually legitimately just finished typing an essay for like an hour ago. This was my final essay for my English class in college. And so I kind of want to give my opinion on this. It's something I'm kind of passionate about as a music person. And so this is going to be about my opinions on music streaming, and particularly the impact that streaming music has had on the physical music industry, which is kind of something that I feel is maybe a little bit overlooked when it comes to the discussion of streaming music. I really think that music streaming, while it has done a lot of good for small artists, and as a small artist myself, somebody who has music up on streaming platforms, like it is incredibly easy, incredibly convenient, very simple to get your music released on all of the major streaming platforms. I mean, I use DistroKid. It was like $15 or something like that, and all of my music was just out. Like it's on Apple Music, it's on Spotify, it's everywhere for $15. Like that's nothing. The convenience is unmatched. You're not going to find a more easy, simple, and convenient way to listen to music than you will with streaming. It simply cannot be done. With that being said, though, I hit the microphone, my bad. But with that being said, I think that it has had a very noticeable and very important negative impact on the physical music industry. And, physical music, I think, is something that you either like it or you don't. Like, you're either passionate about it or you're not. But, for me personally, physical music is very important. The physical formats. You have, CDs, vinyl, cassettes, all these different, formats that are more old school, more, behind, like we're kind of past that at this point. But, music stores serve a very important role in providing those formats to the people who are interested in them. Like, people like me, I while I don't have a record player yet, I haven't invested in a turntable. Vinyl in general is just awesome to me. I think that it's incredible that there's still a market for, vinyl pressed music. Like the fact that I can go out and buy vinyls for my favorite albums, the latest releases from my favorite bands, that's released on vinyl still. I think that's amazing. But, streaming, regardless of the fact that vinyl sales are increasing, vinyl sales are becoming more prevalent. Regardless of that fact, I think music streaming is still killing the industry. Like these music stores that provide these vinyls, that provide CDs, that provide the cassettes, all these mediums, they're going under because music streaming, like at the end of the day, these small brick and mortar stores are not going to be able to compete with the biggest names in music technology. I mean, you have Spotify, you have Apple, you have Amazon, you have all of these massive multi-billion or even trillion dollars, at least in Apple's case, these corporations who are investing in these streaming platforms are building them from the ground up to be as ubiquitous and attractive as possible to everybody. And it works. It is a functional and very successful piece of technology. Music streaming is revolutionary for the music industry. And I use music streaming. I personally use Apple Music, even though I'm on Android. I do personally use Apple Music, but it's like it is revolutionary, and the effects that it has had on the ability for small artists to release their music and for people to discover new bands and albums that they've never heard of. It can't be understated. It is very important, and music streaming is very good for that. But the physical music store is suffering. And like I said, they can't compete. You can't compete as the mom and pop brick and mortar vinyl shop on the corner. You're not competing with Spotify. You're not competing with Apple. You're not competing with Amazon. You can't do it. You're a one single small business, and you're trying to have you're in the same market as these billion-dollar corporations. Like, you don't stand a chance, and it's so sad to me because I think that physical music is important. Even though the CD has been phased out and is, really on its last leg as far as the industry is concerned, I still think it's cool the fact that, you can buy CDs, you can collect CDs. They're valuable. They are an asset that has value. You don't have that with streaming music because you don't own the music that you're listening to. You pay for the service that allows you to stream the content, but you don't actually own the content. As at least with physical music, it is like an asset that you actually own. It's a vinyl, it's a record that you have in your collection, it's a CD, it's a cassette. It is any form of physical music format. You are able to claim that as an asset. It has physical value, and it's also just kind of cool, like, to collect that stuff. But with streaming, music stores are kind of going under. They're unable to compete. They don't have these meaningful international connections and international presences that these big corporations have, and they don't have the vast consumer base. Being that they're internet based, anybody can join a streaming service. But the community is what drives physical stores, and if the community is switching to all virtual forms of listening, then these music stores are going to suffer. They're going to be forced to shut their doors and close because they're not going to be able to run. They're going to lose money. And I don't know. I just think it's kind of sad that these physical music stores, often who have served their communities for decades or maybe even a century, depending on your location where you're at. Nashville probably has many stores that are a century old. Have a century's worth of history to tell. And just in general, the physical music industry is, a century plus old. Vinyl came out, a long time ago. The phonograph, back in the 1800s. Like, music physically is hundreds of years of history. And, it's kind of going by the wayside, and I think that's sad. But, vinyl sales are, like I had said earlier, are going up. The vinyl sales are increasing over the years, but I really don't think that the vinyl format is the savior that the physical music industry needs, that it would have to stay on its feet. Because honestly, I kind of foresee the physical music industry eventually going under because it's not going to be able to keep up. It's not going to be able to compete, and it's not going to be able to stand a chance against these massive billion-dollar corporations who have billions and trillions of dollars to invest in development and marketing and advertisement and just specializing in catering to everybody. Music store can't do that. But it's something I'm passionate about because I'm a huge music fanatic, and physical music, despite the fact that it's not something that I necessarily have a lot of, I recognize the importance of it and the value in owning music. And in a way, it is a direct contribution to the artist. You are physically paying to have their music, and that's important. I think that's a very good thing. But I don't know. I had written this essay about it, and I had to pick sources from my school's database to write the paper, and I found that it was kind of difficult to find information specifically about this topic, the more negative impact that music streaming is having on the industry. It's not all sunshine and butterflies. Like, even though music streaming is convenient, it's profitable, and it's easy. It has this opposite end of the coin where it's hurting small business owners. It's hurting the hobbyist community as vinyl and CDs become phased out. It's having these negative impacts as well on people who are specifically into music for that reason. And physical music stores, there's a few in my town, but they're not popular. They're not, you don't hear about them. You don't, people don't talk about them. And music stores are often cornerstones in their communities, for decades. And the fact that a lot of them are getting shuttered because Spotify offers, Spotify Wrapped, and people just want to see how many hours of music they listen to, and they hop on board. Like, I'm not trying to, say that listening to music on streaming services is bad, or that supporting, streaming services is bad. I'm just saying that there is a negative effect to it. And, I'm going to continue to use Apple Music. I'm going to continue to stream my music. But I think it's important to kind of recognize and respect the physical music industry for for its resilience first and foremost, but also for the impact that it's had over decades on the music industry as a whole. Physical music is very important, and so I think it's important to recognize that. But I kind of went off on a little rant about that, but it's something that kind of sticks with me a little bit. Like, it's something I'm passionate about because music is so important to me. But yeah, with that being said, we're going to move on to the last topic here of the video. I'm going to be talking about Christmas break. And so, for the people that watch this who are in high school or middle school or whatever, Christmas break for a long time, every year while I was in primary school was a huge deal. Semester one was over, and I had like 2 weeks off to chill and celebrate. And my dad's birthday is actually on Christmas Day, so shout out to my dad. I hope that his birthday is very solid. We'll be celebrating it here this upcoming weekend. We celebrate a little early, but Christmas break, it was cool because there's Christmas. I was off of school, got to celebrate my dad's birthday. Got in my birthday as well is over Christmas break. My birthday's on January 3rd, so coming up I'll be 19. It's kind of crazy to think about how time flies. I'm almost 20. Damn. I don't know, like, I look back in time and just, like, I can remember myself 5 years ago, when I was, like, a child. Like, I was, like, 13, 14, 15. I distinctly remember all of those years. Hit the microphone again. I'm sorry. But, I distinctly remember all of those years and just, like, the things I was doing, the people I was with, my hobbies. And it's very interesting to kind of see how I've developed and changed over time, and how, I don't know how age has changed me, I guess. You definitely wisen up. You get a lot of wisdom, and you learn a lot as you get older. And I mean, it's funny because I work with people at Firehouse who are, like 16, 16 or 17. And like, I don't talk down to them like I'm older than them. Like, I don't be like, back in my day, I don't give them that, old head kind of talk. But, it's very, because I can look at them and be like, I don't feel this way because I am older than you, and the difference between 16 and 18 as far as maturity goes is huge. And for people who are, 18 and older, they definitely kind of understand what I mean. But, if you're younger, you really don't realize how much more mature you become as a, 18, 19, 20-year-old. And, by full life standards, 18, 19, and 20-year-olds are very immature. They're very young, if I were to ask my parents about how they felt about themselves in their 20s, they would honestly probably say they were kind of stupid, young, dumb, and, making careless decisions. But that's just kind of the nature of being young. But, I can look back at myself at 16 and be like, yeah, I'm way more mature than I was then. And people, I guess, kind of downplay that difference. When I talk to my coworkers who are younger than me like that, and I will give them my opinion or advice, or they're kind of curious as to why I feel or think the way I do. It's like, I've got those additional 2 years of experience that's very maturing, very uh, self-exploratory in a way. Like, you kind of find yourself in those years. You kind of learn more about who you are and what you want to do. And I just think that 16 to 18, like, the maturity gap is huge. And so, like, I guess that all just kind of ties back to Christmas break, because it's like this Christmas break, like, I'm just chilling, like, I'm spending time with my family, and just having a good time. Like, I've kind of already got my Christmas presents that I wanted. I got my guitar, I got the new monitor for my computer that I needed. I already got the new computer, obviously a while ago. That was something, I had wanted for Christmas for a little while. So I've got that. I got my room set up, all my, tapestries. I just got to get some posters. I have some posters I need to put up. But other than that, like, my room's pretty much done. The only thing I really need to buy at this point is a new TV. And I'm going to do that here probably in the next, week or so. I'm going to go ahead and get my new TV and finish everything up. But I really don't have anything I need for Christmas. So, for the first time in a long time, it's like Christmas is, like, I'm excited for it. I'm excited to be able to, be with my family and spend time with them. But, Christmas break now doesn't ring the same or resonate the same with me as it did as I was in primary school. My Christmas break's over a month long now in college. It goes from the 8th of December to, like, the almost midway through January. So, like, it's over a month long. It's kind of crazy. Like, if I was in high school and I was able to see now that I'm getting over a month for Christmas break, I would have, like, flipped my shit. I wouldn't have been able to handle it, because it's like, that is so crazy to me. And for the people who, like I said, watch this, who are in high school, yeah, look forward to that. Like, Christmas break is long. Breaks are long. In college, work in general in college, college is just a very different feel overall. You feel very much more mature, very much more adult, and there's a lot more to being in college, a lot more freedom and independence than there ever was in high school, at least for me. Um, but yeah, Christmas break, it's like I'm gonna spend it with my family. I'm gonna buy gifts for them, hang out with them, and enjoy their company. And it's not like I'm getting presents, and I'm thankful for being off of school, and I am thankful for being off of school. But it's like, it doesn't really resonate the same with me. It's like, I don't have to go every day for 8 hours like I used to, so it's not really, Christmas break is no different to me now. I don't know, but regardless, I'm excited that I will not have to worry about schoolwork or doing anything for a little while, because school definitely gets a little overwhelming, a little boring sometimes, kind of difficult to enjoy. It's not, school is definitely not something I find fun, but it's essential, it's important, and so I continue with it. But I think it's very important to enjoy those breaks. And for Christmas break, for all my people who are going to be on Christmas break, just remember, like, be thankful for your families. Be thankful for the opportunities that you have to go on a break and spend time with the people you love and care about for Christmas. And even if you don't celebrate Christmas or necessarily believe, like, it's definitely a season of being thankful, of being forgiving, of new beginnings. New Year's resolutions and stuff like that. Like, you have so much to look forward to at the end of the year, and a lot of things change. You kind of are able to set goals for yourself, and I think it's very important to be thankful for that opportunity, but to also take advantage of it. And so, for Christmas break for me, like, I'm gonna set some goals. I really want to, save some more money. Become a little more responsible. I am still a young person. I'm 18, so I still kind of have the immaturity of being a little more careless with money and buying all this stuff that I don't need. Part of my growing up, this upcoming year, is I want to be able to kind of mature with that, save money, buy things that are useful or valuable, are going to serve me well, but not make as many impulse buys. Make sure that I'm being responsible and doing everything to the best of my abilities. Not wasting money or time. Being as productive as possible. And I think the fact that I'm able to have the time to think about that stuff and come up with my ideas and plans, I think it's very important. And so Christmas break in general is a very Great time. I think it's important to have that reflective time at the end of the year and just kind of be able to make new goals and everything. But Christmas break, very hyped for it. Very excited for Christmas. I love Christmas. Christmas is my favorite holiday. I would probably say. So I always have a good time around Christmas time, even if people are kind of assholes sometimes and it's very chaotic. Yeah, Christmas is pretty dope. But yeah, with that being said, that pretty much covers all the topics for this episode. I hope that you all enjoyed and that it was pretty interesting. It was kind of all over the place, not as cohesive as previous episodes, but I still hope that y'all enjoyed the content. It was chill time, and I hope this video finds you all in a positive, place, a positive state of mind. And if not, just know that you are stronger than your circumstances. You will make it through whatever you're going through. I believe in you, and I care about each and every one of you. So, thank you all again for the support on these episodes. I could not be more, thankful and happy that people, enjoy watching this content. And, I love making it and producing it. So, I'm very happy that I'm able to do this. And so, as far as next year, definitely the content is going to be continuing. Hopefully, some new content. Trying to get some more subscribers. Just build a little community here because that's what it's about. I want to be, kind of like a campfire sort of stories. Like you can sit and chill and have a good time, listen, and we can just hang out. I think that's important to be able to de-stress in that way. But yeah, that pretty much covers it for episode 27 here. So this has been A New Direction. I have been Colin, and I hope you all enjoyed. And with that being said, I will see you all next time. Peace out. Stay chill.